So Toby, what's up?
The sky.
No,
Or the sea.
we don't like you no more.
What are roofers?
Let me see. Instagram's being slow. Oh, there it goes. It's no longer slow.
Hello.
Let's see.
Ugh, my stomach hurts.
Okay. So, we are doing Reddit today.
Yes, sir.
And we got Kat on the speed runner.
Because we both suck
her
at it.
voice privileges have been revoked though, so you won't hear her. You'll hear Toby though. Toby's so awesome though.
Excuse
Right,
me.
Toby?
I'm at the... Oh. Excuse me.
Well, okay. So I found a different kind of subreddit. It's called Ask Reddit. I don't think I've seen this before. It says, what movie made you say, holy poo, there is still an hour left? Somebody responded, I remember having a DVD copy of Pearl Harbor that came in 2 discs, and when the first disc ended, I thought that's a strange way to end a movie, and then got the insert disc 2 message and was like, what the F? Have you seen Pearl Harbor? It's really long.
No.
It's over 2 hours. It's basically just a love story, but they attach like the history of the war and everything in there. I know, I guess it really is kind of a bad movie because it's like way too long for a love story. And then,
How
I don't know, there's too much love in it for a war story. I don't know.
What about... How long is the Notebook?
Pretty sure it's under 2 hours? I don't know.
I thought it... Let me look that up.
I mean, it is
That is
kind
long.
of a long movie, The Notebook, but I don't think it's as long as Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor's a long movie.
I remember when you made me watch The Exorcist.
Yeah, that's not a long movie.
Over 2 hours?
Was it?
Pretty sure. And I fell asleep in the first 10 minutes.
Made me sound abusive. She made me watch The Exorcist.
I forced you to watch movies, but you say they're kid movies, and I need to grow up.
She, like, oh my gosh, today I literally found little kid DVDs in the closet with, like, little cartoons and stuff. I'm like, oh, you know what? First thing I thought was Toby. I'm like, Toby would love these.
Wait.
Better not show them to her. She'll
Wait,
force me to watch them.
Wait, which one? What movies were
No,
what
absolutely not.
What
No, this is
movies?
what I was trying to avoid.
What movies?
That don't matter. I don't remember. There's some weird creatures on it with some bright colors, and
What creatures? What creatures?
I don't know what they are. I don't want to watch it.
What creatures?
You know this is not helping your case. No. Yeah, somebody
laughing at me.
responded to that other comment. They're like, my dad and I accidentally watched this movie in the wrong order. I guess the discs were mixed up. We put the second DV in first, and honestly, I feel it worked better that way. You start with romantic tension and the training montage, and the middle climax is the death of that one guy. Then you get a flashback to the friendship and romance, which is more impactful knowing one of them dies. And the whole time you know this big event happens somewhere in the movie, but unsure when, so it's kind of hanging over the plot ominously. Then you end with the big explosions and pageantry and the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Maybe. You know,
Oh,
that's kind of what Star Wars did. What?
The Notebook's like 2 hours and 1 minute.
How long is Pearl Harbor?
How do you spell P?
How do you spell Pearl?
Shh.
Oh my
P-E-A-R-L. Yep, I did it by myself.
Trash.
I thought that was a...
Yeah, I thought you were utter trash.
3 hours!
Yeah, it's a long movie. Now look up Braveheart. That was another 2-disc,
she's gonna make me watch
VHS
it.
movie.
I don't want to.
She has no idea what Braveheart's about. She's a trash human
It's
being.
3 hours.
Yeah, that must be.
No.
Why?
No.
Why? We could watch Pearl
She
Harbor.
only watched all the Twilight movies.
Yeah.
That was traumatic.
How long was that really?
And all of them looked like they were dying. Even the regular humans looked like they were dying. They all looked like they crawled out of their graves. Every single one of them.
Well, to be fair, they're vampires. They're
Even
not
the
alive.
regular humans.
Well, you know.
And their lips are like really red.
Well, they probably didn't know how to do their makeup well, you know, honestly.
No.
Well,
I
actually,
think silent film's better than that.
whatever. when they have to change the color of their skin, they have to put foundation on, right? And you put it on your lips and everything typically, so you have to like redo your lips. So they just probably got a color that just didn't match that great when they redid the lip stuff.
I remember watching a silent film.
You watched a silent film?
Yeah, I forgot what it was about though.
Probably your own homemade film that you forgot to add audio to.
No.
Congratulations.
We saw them acting and I thought it was kind of cool because you could tell what was going on even though you didn't hear it, and then you'd have to wait till the words would pop up. I thought that was kind of cool. They had to get creative.
Somebody put the Meg 2. I was sure I was at the end of the third act, but somehow there was a whole other movie left. Somebody put The Gangs of New York on cable TV. So with the commercial breaks, it was 5 gosh dang hours long. That sounds horrible. How long is The Gangs of New York? Look that one up. I swear I've seen that one, but I can't remember if I'm remembering it right. But how long is that one? That one, I don't remember that one being long, but I guess it was.
Almost 3 hours?
Almost 3 hours? Okay.
It's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Wait.
I think I might have watched that one. Somebody put a friend at the theater for the first Lord of the Rings. He knew nothing about it. Was just coming home because everyone was going, and it was hyped up. Movie finished with Frodo and Sam looking at Mount Doom. He says, "That's how it ends? That's stupid." We inform him that it's a trilogy, and he says, "I have to watch 2 more of these effing things now." You know, when the Lord of the Rings first movie came out, it was the very first DVD I saw. And I had just got my glasses, so it was kind of cool. I would have never watched it because my brother liked Lord of the Rings, and he read the book and watched the cartoon and stuff. There was a cartoon too, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah, I remember the cartoon.
of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, they traced the scenes.
What do you mean they traced him?
Like the actual scene. I'm pretty sure. It's like the Lord of the Rings show cartoon. Lord of the Rings cartoon. I remember watching a video on it.
Yeah, but I didn't want to watch any of it, but
Or something.
everything just kind of aligned. Got new glasses. It was a DVD. Never seen a DVD before. So I watched it. Pretty sure I finished it too. Yeah. And then I love Lord of the Rings. So, you know, there you go.
There was
became a Lord of
something
the
they
Rings fan.
traced. Yeah. Ow. They first shot it live action, then traced it into animation. So, yeah, that's what they did.
That's interesting. I guess I should rewatch it. That makes it sound more interesting.
Yeah, I was watching a bunch of stuff on animation, and I think it was like rotoscoping. That's what it's called. Oh yeah, could you watch the Lord of the Rings movies? Because I remember when I first watched it, I was like 9 or something.
We just watched them recently. You are so... Oh my goodness.
I didn't like them.
Okay. I think I'm going to go in mildly infuriating. Let's see.
My hands smell like dish soap. They smell dry.
The other thing about this is they have a lot of images. People do not write on mildly infuriating. I was going to go on Am I the Donkey Hole? But Toby doesn't understand a lot of the scenarios. Let me see. This one I feel like you should. Let me see.
Because I'm so big brain.
Okay. Let's do this one. You're just going to have to try to understand. I don't know what to tell you. Am I the donkey hole for saying I would terminate my pregnancy if the baby had a genetic condition, and now my husband is considering a divorce. A couple of weeks ago, I found out I'm pregnant. My husband and I have been talking about starting a family for a while, so this was supposed to be an exciting moment for us. However, during a conversation about prenatal testing, I told him that if we found out the baby had a severe genetic condition such as Down syndrome, I would choose to terminate the pregnancy.
What?
I also shared my belief that it is extremely selfish to knowingly bring a child into the world with serious medical or developmental conditions or challenges. To me, it would be unfair to the child, to myself, and to my husband. Raising a child with severe disabilities is an enormous lifelong commitment, one that affects every aspect of a family's life, and I don't believe it is reasonable or responsible to willingly choose that path when there is an option to prevent it. I also said that either raising a child like that or having a hereditary condition and choose to be pregnant instead of adopting, for example, is extremely selfish as well. My husband was horrified. He said he never realized I felt this way and that he couldn't believe I would even consider terminating the pregnancy just because the child wouldn't be perfect. He accused me of being cold, pro-eugenist, and lacking empathy, saying that every child deserves love regardless of their challenges. He also strongly disagreed with my opinion that people with hereditary conditions should think twice before having children, calling it an extreme and disturbing mindset. Since then, things between us have been tense, and now he says he is seriously considering divorce. He told me that we have completely different values when it comes to family, and that he doesn't think he can stay married to someone who sees things this way. I was shocked that he would take it this far, but he says he doesn't want to raise children with someone who believes in selective reproduction. I never expected this conversation to lead to such a massive rift in our marriage. I don't see my stance as cruel, just practical and responsible. Am I the donkey hole for being honest about my beliefs even though they are making my husband want to leave me?
She sounds horrible.
Actually, this is very common. That's why they have testing like that. And they even say the testing can be risky because you're testing the baby while they're inside of you. But that's the point of the testing, is so they can make that choice instead of going through the whole pregnancy. And I think it's kind of funny that he's comparing it to eugenics. In eugenics is when, you basically, there's different ways to go about it, but a lot of people sterilize people that have genetics that are unsavory, at least to that group or culture. They do it for different reasons. Like, in the United States, they were doing a little bit of eugenics, and they were sterilizing people with disabilities and stuff. So, in Germany, they were doing eugenics, people of, races and stuff like that they weren't cool with. And he was comparing that choice that she's making to eugenics, which is just weird.
No, because she said that she doesn't believe that people with disabilities should have children, which is messed up.
How am I think? Well, but a lot of people choose not to because they have if you have a debilitating.
If they choose to, but if they want to have a family, they should have a family.
She's saying it's selfish because you're bringing a child into this world that's going to have a lot of problems.
They were brought into the world and they want to have a child.
Huh?
And they were brought into the world with their disability and they want to have a child. So,
What? I'm confused what you're saying.
They were brought into the world with their disability. They're living with their disability. They're fine with their disability. And they want to have a child.
Who is this?
She's saying that people with disabilities, like strong genetic ones, should not have children.
Should not have children of their own.
Yes.
But they should adopt, is what she's saying. So they don't pass on their genetic disability with a child that could be, in pain or whatever.
Yes, that's true, but still. But some people are also really strong about the kid being theirs, which is interesting.
I think that's a little
and
odd.
Also, adopting is really hard. And what if they don't get the child because they have a disability? Or does that work? I heard adopting is really hard. And it could take years and years and years.
Yeah, because you have to get approved and it's expensive and blah, blah, blah. But that's why people go overseas to adopt sometimes, because it's just a lot less of everything. It's cheaper. I don't think they go through the same kind of approval because, it's in a different country.
Yeah, but kids in our country aren't getting adopted because it's so hard.
Yeah, but if somebody really wants a kid, and they have a disability and they want to avoid that disability for their children, people that have a disability, typically they're really afraid that they're going to pass it on to their kids.
But people with like Down syndrome, are they in pain?
No.
They just struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
That's like Down syndrome.
Yeah, her example was Down syndrome.
It's bad. I mean, if they were born and they're struggling to breathe every day, I understand that. Or I think there's something else. But
she was also saying it was a strain on the family, so it sounded like she didn't want to raise a child with a disability.
I don't know. I disagree with her.
Yeah, but what's also interesting is the husband says that he's thinking about divorce, which is funny because shouldn't they have had these conversations if they knew they were going to have kids one day? And then this is such a big deal to him that he's thinking about divorcing her. This should have been something that was brought up way before they got married.
Maybe, but sometimes it just didn't come up. And it just happened to come up.
I guess so, but
she got pregnant.
They probably didn't have a long.
Well, maybe he thought it was such a, to him it was to him he thinks it's common sense. So he probably didn't think he'd have to talk about it with her, but then she brought it up, and then he was like, "What?"
Yeah, but if they're together long enough, you just have a lot of these.
We don't know how long they were together. They could be together.
That's what I'm saying. They probably weren't together that long because you just have these kind of random conversations unless you don't talk to the other person.
Yeah, they could have only been together for 2 years or one.
Yeah, and then decided to get married.
Yeah.
It sounds all kinds of funny.
I disagree with her though.
I don't know if it makes her the poop hole because lots of people do this. So
she sounds like a chico.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this one sounds funny. Am I the chico for refusing to give my parents the first grandchild after they disowned me? Am I the chico for refusing to give my parents I think they mean their first grandchild after they disowned me? So, some background. When I, 27 female, was 19, I got pregnant by my then boyfriend. My super conservative parents lost it. They told me I had ruined my future, called me irresponsible, and gave me an ultimatum: give the baby up for adoption or cut off completely. I refused to give up my child, so they followed through. No financial help, no contact, nothing. It was hard, but I made it work. I finished college, built a career, and raised my son, now 7 months, without them. They never once reached out, even when they knew where I was. Fast forward to now, my younger sister, 24 female, just had her first baby, and suddenly my parents are obsessed with being grandparents. They throw a huge baby shower, constantly posting about being first-time grandparents, and act like my son doesn't exist. It stung, but I let it go. But then, out of nowhere, they reached out to me saying they want to reconnect because my son is actually their first grandchild, and they feel guilty for missing out. They even had the audacity to say my son deserves to know his real family. I told them absolutely not. They made their choice 7 years ago, and I won't let them waltz back into my son's life just because they suddenly care about being grandparents. They got mad and said I was being cruel and selfish and punishing them for past mistakes. My sister is saying I should at least consider it for my son's sake, but I don't think I owe them anything.
Who are they calling cruel? They kicked her out and
I know, right? And
if you cared about her life being ruined, you wouldn't kick her out and cut off the financial support. But I cannot speak financial support.
It sounds like they're just more. They find it fun and cool to have the status of grandparent, like they just kind of got recently, even though they were grandparents before. and so they want to up it even more by acknowledging the other grandchild. I don't know. It seems weird. They wanted to completely punish her, saying she was ruining her life or whatever by getting pregnant, but they hurt her also by not helping her through a really rough time, you know.
I feel like it's like, you're a shame to this family. Get out. You're not family anymore.
Exactly. And then once it's cool, when she's older and her other sister has a child too, then it's like, oh yeah, you can come back into our lives. Like, absolutely not. And then what if something else happens? Like, these people just aren't, at least from their past history, they're not stable in her life. Why would you bring a child into that? You know? Like, they bring up that her son, it's for her son's sake to have the grandparents involved. But really, from everything that they've shown, at least before, it would not benefit him. It could only hurt him, because what if they decide to dip out again? You know? Hi, Mr. Was it Dodge Pop? Does something? Hi. But yeah.
They sound very contradicting, like almost everything they say. Because it's just like, you're ruining your life, but we're going to kick you out. And we're not helping you at all. You're not a part of this family.
Yeah.
But, and the audacity say that we're first-time grandparents.
Right.
And then be like, okay, and we know you're the actual grandparent, but like, your actual first grandchild. English is hard today.
I bet even the sisters said something about them already being a grandparent, because they were putting, I think they said on Facebook or whatever, that we're first time grandparents, blah, blah, blah. I bet that made the sister feel weird, because she probably is in better, you know, communicates more with the sister than they do. And then, you know, they're like, oh, we're first time grandparents, and she's like, yeah. Besides my sister's child, your daughter's child,
like,
my kid's cousin, you know.
And then she also like, but you should talk to them for the son's sake.
Yeah, that's just, I think they're just guilt tripping her.
The sister said it.
Was it the sister that said it?
The sister also said that.
Oh yeah, she did, yeah. Okay. And the first comment says, I bet money that someone remembered that you had a kid and called them on it. They're trying to reconnect a safe base on the community. Yeah, I have a feeling it's the sister, but who knows? Because to me, that would just feel odd that they would say something like that, and like my sibling already has a kid. So, yeah.
My eyeball hurts.
Okay, so we got this one. We got another one. Am I the Chico for telling my mother-in-law to never undermine me in front of my children? Wife was out of town last weekend for work, so my mother-in-law volunteered to take our 12-year-old triplets to a movie. Dang, triplets.
Triplets.
Before she got to our house to pick them up, I asked my daughter to clean up the mess she made in the kitchen. I asked 2 more times after that, and then my mother-in-law arrived. It still wasn't done. I was starting to get upset, so I asked her again in a more stern tone. She tried to argue back that she did, so I asked about the kettle on the stove and still had food in it. It was at this point that my mother-in-law started criticizing me and saying it wasn't that big of a deal. When I mentioned that we were specifically working with the kids on cleaning up after themselves, she dismissed me and started talking about when she sees things that I don't always put away, like tools and stuff. When they got back, I pulled her off to the side. I told her that I appreciate everything that she does for us, but with all due respect, please don't undermine me in front of my kids again, and that I felt extremely disrespected. If she ever disagrees with something I say or do, she is welcome to pull me aside and talk about it in private, but never in front of the kids. Of course, she left crying, and my wife isn't speaking to me. Am I the donkey hole? Wow, that really escalated. Like, it sounded like, we don't know if he's taking things out of context or whatever.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he just talked to her normally.
Why is she crying?
Yeah, and she cried like a little baby.
Grown children. Calm down.
And his wife isn't speaking to him. Unless he's leaving out some information.
Yeah, but it sounded like he like, hey, please.
Yeah, like
Putting
adult
things like
like
that.
and everything, and then they start acting like kids.
Sounds like both the wife and the mom are a little sensitive, but
Yeah.
you know.
And I don't know. I guess it's just a thing with like grandparents. They get so baby or treat their grandkids like toddlers, no matter how old they are.
Well,
and-
I heard someone say it's like, someone was like, it was like the kids without the work. Like, you get all the fun parts, but not the bad
yeah.
parts. When being a grandparent.
Well, I mean, I can see that with other things. Like, if you go take care of somebody's kids or whatever, it's like, you know, it's like having kids, but not your own, and you can do all the fun things. But you can't undermine the parent trying to parent that child. It's not your child, obviously. Parents typically seem to care more about disciplining than anybody else would because it's not their kid. They don't have to deal with the repercussions. The parent has to deal with the kid doing things they're not supposed to routinely. That's probably what it really is. If the grandparent or anybody else would have to deal with them, you know, not taking a bath, clean the skid marks out of their underwear, whatever, I'm sure they would, you know, want to try to redirect that as much as possible. Then, you know, oh, I'll have to see this kid. I'll have to be around their stinkiness, you know, or whatever. So I'll just go have my fun time. You know what I'm saying?
No, not really.
They don't have to deal with any of the negative side effects because they're not around the children long enough. But if they were around the children long enough...
You like unsummarize what I said.
What do you mean?
Like, you took what I said and made it longer.
Did I?
And they need a word for it. So, like, you unsummarized it.
That doesn't even sound like English.
Well,
Unsummarized.
you summarized something, you shortened a paragraph. You took what I said and made it a paragraph.
I made it wordy.
That's why you need Grammarly.
Really? Because why I need grammar and advertising? Oh my god. Jeez.
For your brain.
Whatever. Okay. Okay. Am I the cheek hole for not giving my mom's stepkid any lunch at school?
Huh?
Sounds weird.
Are you...
My parents divorced when I was 17. And when I, 17 male, was 5. And when I was 8, my mom got remarried. Her husband had a 6-year-old son. Pretty quickly after she remarried, she told my dad they couldn't afford lunch for her stepkid, and he should provide me with enough money in my lunch account or a packed lunch big enough to feed both of us. My dad said no. Super fast after that, Mom told me I needed to make sure he got something, and she called him my brother and told me I had a responsibility to my little brother. I told Mom I wouldn't, and when her something of a husband brought it up to me a year later, I told him I wasn't giving up my lunch for his kid. But they really didn't do any more, and I never shared my lunch with him. I really didn't interact with him. At Mom's house, I hid out in my room since her husband was such a something, and I spent every other week with my dad, so I wasn't there all the time. A few months ago, CPS got called my mom and her husband over the lunch and other stuff. They saw everything as a good reason to take him into foster care. I moved in full-time with my dad 2 years ago, so I don't know everything, but I had twice weekly court order calls with my mom, and during one of those, she asked me to hand the phone to Dad, and she said she wanted him to take in her stepkid. She had mentioned his name to CPS as his brother's dad. My dad never got contacted, and my mom wanted to speak to him during another call and yelled at him for not calling CPS and offering. He's got no bio family willing to take him, so he was being bounced around different foster families. A few weeks after that, my mom called for her first court-ordered call of the week, and she screamed at me for not giving him any lunch. She said I'd promised, and I told her I hadn't, and I'd even said it to her face and her husband's face that I wasn't going to share mine with him. Ever since she brings it up all the time when she calls. I considered blocking her because I'll be 18 soon, but I decided to deal with it until my birthday because if there's any chance my dad would get in trouble for not making me take the calls, I wasn't willing to put him through that. But she's always talking to me like poo for my choice, and she was witching about me not taking my role as a brother more seriously. To me, I was never a brother. I was never her stepkid's anything. I wasn't responsible for him. But she's making me question a tiny bit if I am the booty hole for not when I knew they weren't giving him any lunch. For not when I don't know. But you get the gist.
Yeah, I guess first of all, the mom should have given lunch. But at the same time, like, I don't know why they refuse to, like, you're not my sibling. Like, that's kind of messed up. That's also a child. Just give them lunch. I don't know.
It's kind of weird that there was this really big disconnect that it got so bad to a CPS case. Like, the kid wasn't getting fed.
This whole thing's kind of worded really badly. I'm not worded where I can understand, but they sound kind of like a butthole. Just give them lunch. I mean, the mom should have given them lunch first, so she's in the wrong. But why can't you give them lunch?
Well, she was putting it on the son, like he should have shared or something. I'm confused. But but the son already told her no. So at that point,
what I'm saying is the mom is in the wrong. She sounds kind of like a butthole. But at the same time, why couldn't you give him lunch? I don't.
They were making it sound like he should have still been giving him lunch, even though he told her that he wasn't. That's what's weird. It's like,
well, he's asking if I'm the butthole for not giving him lunch. He is the butthole for not giving him lunch. Not for the reason that the mom's is stating, because it is the mom's fault that that the kid is bouncing around in foster care. You couldn't buy him a Lunchable or something. You couldn't make him a little ham sandwich before school.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, her son said that he wasn't gonna give him lunch, but it's like she just ignored that. It's weird.
Yeah.
And they're financially strapped. It sounds like because they can't afford to buy him the school lunch. But yeah, why couldn't she just make him lunch? But she acted like he said yes and that he was going to. It's so weird.
Or she could have just split the lunches before school.
I really think. Well, no, he's getting a school lunch.
Oh.
I really think that she heard and acknowledged that he said no, but didn't care enough to actually fix the situation.
Yeah, and now
that's what it really feels like.
And then she's blowing up because the kid bouncing.
It's your fault, not my fault. Even though you're the parent, he told you no. You should have found another solution to the lunch.
Yeah, there's first fault and there's secondary fault. I feel like he's secondary fault because why couldn't you give him lunch? What reason? Other than you just want to be a butthole.
You know, it's funny though because when you think about it, she was blaming everybody but herself because she initially was trying to blame her ex-husband. Like, you should have been putting food or money in his account or whatever. I
agree with the ex-husband because that's not his kid. You're just you're just like, here, I know you've never met this kid in your life. You're not related to him in any way. But can you just feed him a little bit?
You're right. Yeah. It's so weird.
I understand that, but...
And then ask if he can take him in, also.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Because none of his actual family will take in the kid, which is weird because the kid sounds young and nobody will take him in. I guess his father can't take him in because he's also going to get in trouble for the CPS case too because they're all living together. Like, he should have done something. But, like, I guess that no family on his side will take him in. I don't know. It's just all weird. Why would you ask your ex-husband to take care of your new kid that you're not even related to? Like, it's just so odd.
Yeah. So
that and she made some comment about how CPS didn't contact him. That's why she contacted him directly. Of course, CPS didn't contact him. He has absolutely no relationship to this kid. It's so weird.
Yeah, I think she's a little special. Something's in the
Yeah, like everybody's responsible for these children besides her.
Yeah.
Okay. First comment is not the donkey hole. They didn't take care of their kid, and the lunch thing would have been the least offense if they took him out and sent you to your dad's. So you are 100% in the clear. You mom is insane though. OP responded to that. He said, I was already living with my dad when he was taken. A judge let me decide when I got old enough and just ordered some phone calls. But I haven't been around in a couple of years to know more about the why. I figured there had to be a lot. Yeah, man, that's oof.
I still kind of think that they're butthole for not giving them lunch.
Yeah,
both of them.
Well, yeah. Yeah, like if your parents are like, hey, I can't afford to, feed this one, but she probably came about it, since she sounds weird,
yeah,
she probably came about it weird.
But this person kind of sounds a little heartless. They're not my sibling, and I'm not getting them lunch. Even if that was like some strange kid, that, like, wouldn't you feel a little bad that they're not eating lunch? Like, that's not the kid's fault at all.
That's true. His excuse is that it's not his sibling, but I bet if it was his sibling, he would come up with some other excuse,
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to share. I mean, what is it to
like, this
share
poor
food
kid can't have lunch.
Yeah.
And your excuse is, well, they're not my sibling.
Right? Yeah.
You can't share a little bit?
Yeah, they would just come up with another excuse.
That was the point I've been trying to make, because, like, the poor kid is not eating.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Like,
trash human being.
And then you just want to be like, well, I don't want to. I don't know you, buddy. Sorry.
We're doing Reddits. Don't you enjoy the Reddits? I was going to do Jujutsu Infinite on Bloxfruit. I swear I've heard of that Jujutsu one. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Maybe I'm thinking of that Tycoon one.
Oopsies. Whoopsies.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I find another one.
Ew. What's up with you?
Am I the booty hole for feeling torn about paying for my husband's funeral?
Huh?
This one is a tad bit personal. Sure sounds like it.
A tad.
I'm 45 female, and my husband passed away at 51 unexpectedly. I left him while grieving and making some funeral arrangements. A woman, guessing around my age or younger, showed up with 2 young kids, who are both under 10, claiming to be his other family. Turns out my husband has been living a double life for years. He had been financially supporting them outside of our joint account. I had no idea at all. I'm feeling tired just typing this out because I'm still processing his death, but this, I feel like I'm grieving a stranger. It's a mixed emotion of grieving and anger. The other woman had the audacity to assume I'll still pay for everything because he would have wanted a proper send-off. Because of that, I told her she could handle the arrangements herself, since she apparently knew him so well. I'm in the midst of refusing to pay for anything. I'm honestly done, and he left me in such a mess that at this point in my life I don't want to clean up. I don't even want to get into what his side of the family are saying. Very cool things to me, as I'm shutting them off at the moment. His funeral is yet to come, but I'm still completely torn. Even worse thinking about it, because how did she know about me, but I didn't know about her? Yeah, the side chick always seems to know more. Okay.
That sucks though, cause he couldn't even she couldn't even talk to him about it before he died. He just died, and then
that's how he wanted
it.
Have
2 kids.
That's how he wanted it. He wanted nobody to find out till he wanted to die that way. That was his plan.
I just would you want to die with like a clean slate? Not. I wish.
Well, actually, he did die unexpectedly, so maybe. He could have had some plan to tell her eventually, but he died unexpectedly. Who knows?
That sucks. And that sucks for her. That sucks for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think I would pay either. Especially if the other chick was like, you're going to pay for it all, right? Oh, no. No, ma'am. You got 2 kids. You seem like more family than me, honestly.
I don't know. I might have paid. I don't know. Sounds confusing.
I'd be real. Ugh. It's just to me, it's the funeral anyways. They're dead. You know, go do whatever you want with the body. Have fun. Throw them in a hole somewhere, ocean. I don't care.
Yeah, but I don't know. How long were they married? Does it say?
Oh, let me see.
Oh, kids are under 10.
Oh yeah,
too.
Cat's playing Roblox.
Yeah,
she ain't that good though.
Me.
It's okay.
She's hitting me every time she dies.
I don't think it
I'm gonna
says how long they were married.
She's gonna make my arm fall off. She keeps hitting me so many times. She keeps dying so much.
They said they were married for years because they had double life. So, I don't know. First comment, talk to a lawyer, make sure your rights are protected, and let her pay for whatever the heck she wants on her own dime. Yeah, I would definitely just leave it. I would leave the funeral, just whatever. That's probably why the in-laws are so upset. It sounds like his family is upset with her, probably because she is refusing to pay, and nobody wants to pay. I bet his family doesn't want to pay. His other chick and stuff doesn't want to pay. And it goes to the responsibility of the wife, but now she learned all this and doesn't want to pay.
I mean, yeah. I don't disagree with her not wanting to pay, because it's crazy. He has 2 kids, like, under 10.
Yeah. Funerals are expensive.
Yeah, that sucks.
I don't know how you can get out of not paying for a funeral, though. Maybe they would just... I think they just put them in, like, a little styrofoam box or something. I can't remember. We'll have to look it up. Maybe I'm thinking about babies. I'm not sure. It'd be different.
Styrofoam?
Yeah.
Is that biodegradable?
I don't know.
Why would you put them in styrofoam?
Well, nobody expects it to degrade. Oh, the game. She's playing Speedrun 4. Okay, let me see the next one.
Sounds wrong. High five. That was me high-fiving her, guys.
Okay.
High five.
Am I the poop hole for listing my stepmom as stepmother of the groom instead of mother of the groom on our wedding invites and program? What? I'm confused. Listing my stepmom as stepmother of the groom instead of mother of the groom. Oh, I get it. Because he put stepmom instead of mom.
Well, is the mom still present? Like the actual mom? I just read it.
Yeah, I don't know. My fiance and I finalized our wedding invitations and our wedding program designs. The wording we chose has bothered some of my family, and I'm here to find out if I'm the booty hole or not. My fiance's parents are both alive and married, so she just has them as father and mother of the bride. My mom died when I was in elementary school, and dad remarried when I was in middle school. My stepmom's my stepmom. I don't call her mom and never introduced her as my mom. And I wanted to mention my mom on the invites and program too. So I had it worked as late mother, father, and stepmother. Nothing has been sent out yet or printed, but we had some family over for dinner on Sunday night, and they wanted to see what we decided on. That's when some family spoke in protest as listing my stepmom as stepmother versus mother. The people upset were my youngest full sister, who calls our stepmom mom, and 2 of my half-siblings. Dad had asked, why not just say parents of the bride and parents of the groom, and save labeling anyone as a step-parent or lesser parent when my stepmom has been around a long time now. My stepmom suggested mom should have been listed last instead of first. My fiance said being dead didn't make her less important, and that we didn't need their opinions on our choice of words because everyone got mentioned. But my 3 siblings who complained said it was mean for me to put her at step on them. My younger full sister, who doesn't call our stepmom mom, either spoke in my defense and said she'd write it the same way if she were the one getting married. It was just an overly dramatic issue, and honestly the program was just covered in our wedding package, so we didn't intend to do it. Personally, I don't see why mom has to come last and why I need to list my stepmom as my mother instead of stepmother when she is my stepmother. The whole thing has not blown over since Sunday night, and my dad sent me a bunch of screenshots with proof that listing everyone as parents instead of by official title is better. And my youngest full sister has continued to bring up how bad she feels that my stepmom has to always be reminded she's a step. She said if she could accept her fully, me and our sister could do it too. But she was younger than us and it made a difference. She also said she wouldn't mention our shared mom if she got married, and she'd rather not have something morbid like that and instead focus on living mom she has. My stepmom hasn't said more, but I could tell she was feeling hurt. I know she's entitled to her feelings and I won't discount them. We don't have a bad relationship, but I have never called her mom, so I don't see why this expectation was ever there to begin with. So yeah.
Morbid though?
Hi, Navy Marco. Because they were talking about listing the deceased mom.
Yeah, that's like...
They're like, it's morbid. I guess technically.
No, it's in honor of her.
Yeah, but
and
she's
not like... She's... I don't know. That was really disrespectful.
Yeah, that was weird to say that. I mean, technically it's true. It's morbid.
That
right?
was like
not in a bad way.
That was your husband's, like first what, or whatever.
Yeah.
Before you. Like, that he fell in love with first and had a baby with first.
Yeah, it's his actual biological mom.
That was, like, insanely disrespectful to say put her last. And you can't force him to call you mom.
I think they needed to view it in the reverse way. Like, he wants to put his mom on there. If he puts the stepmom as mom,
it's gonna be confusing.
Right? This is mom 1 and 2. Mom A and B. Like, what?
I mean, he could have just put parents of the bride and groom. That would also be okay.
Yeah, and the dad did suggest that.
So, I agree with that part. But then their other suggestions were just horrible. Like...
You know, it's funny. This reminds me of a funeral I went to. And something similar happened. So, my parents got remarried, right? And when my grandmother died, it listed all the family members that were, underneath her. Listed my mom, me, my siblings, everything like that.
But
it didn't list my dad. She's not married to him anymore, right? So it showed, under my grandmother's lineage, I guess, they showed my mother, her husband, and all of my mother's children, which were not her husband's children, technically, right? None of them were related to her. They were all from my dad, but they're divorced. So my dad got so upset about it. It was kind of funny, actually. This is a funeral, right? And he's getting upset about semantics, and he's not married to her anymore.
Yeah,
so it's
and
like,
how do you make a funeral about yourself?
Exactly. This was my grandmother's funeral, and he was getting upset that he wasn't listed or whatever. Like, dude, you're not part of the family anymore. I mean, the only connection you have is that you're related to us, the children that are related to my mother, who are related to my grandmother.
That's disrespectful too.
Yeah.
Bro, why are you gonna start a fight? There's a dead woman.
Exactly.
We are mourning and grieving. We are not focusing on you. We are mourning.
Yeah. Luckily, he didn't voice that to them, but he kept talking about it to us, and I think several people afterwards that didn't really have a connection to her, so I don't think she ever heard about that. That's funny. I gotta tell her sometime. Now that I think about it, it's just like the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't know. People get whatever caught in their feelings and stuff. Dumb stuff. But anyways, this was fun. I think we should take a break because breaks are fun too.
3-year break.
3-year break?
See y'all.
A 3-year break? What?
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Yeah, you guys get a 3-year break from Toby. I will save all of you guys that.
Wow.
Goodbye, Toby.
Finish the last level.
Are you on the last level?
Yes.
Oh, this is the last level?
Yes.
Don't mess up. Don't mess up. I should press a key.
Stop.
Ooh. Are you gonna make it?
Don't touch me.
Nobody wants to touch you.
I poked her.
Are you gonna make it? Are you gonna make it? Oh. Oh.
Stop.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh. 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 Oh. 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 Cat made it. She succeeded. Now it's a perfect break time. Toby, what do you tell our subscribers and potential subscribers?
Eat your cheese and subscribe to become. Dun, 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 dun.
Become a miceling. Toby is stroking out right now.
What?
We will
Subscribe,
see
guys.
you guys